Recently, I have been off of my routine. I was not at home, I was spending more time with my family, and I definitely was not keeping up with my healthy habits. Now, when I came back home and I stepped on my scale, I gained 9 pounds. 9 pounds. Now, to be honest, I really wasn't as surprised because I know I was off of my routine and I was over consuming a lot of ultra processed foods, a lot of junk foods, and drinking a lot of sugary drinks and fizzy drinks. And another thing, I also knew that most of that weight was maybe just water weight, so I just started getting back into a routine when I came back home. So if it is that you know you're on your weight loss journey, your fitness journey, your health journey, and recently you've been off track, you haven't been keeping focus, then this video is for you. Now, one of the first things that I started focusing on was my hydration and making sure that I drink at least 100 ounces of water every day. When I was not at home, like, water for some reason didn't exist. I was drinking so much juices and fizzy drinks, sugary drinks every single day throughout the day. Yes, I did drink water, but it was nowhere close to what I'm accustomed doing. If you all keep up with my vlogs and my water I eat in a day videos, you all will know that staying hydrated and drinking a lot of water is maybe one of my, I guess, easiest tasks that I have to do. It's something that I don't find really hard to do. I love drinking water. It's something easy for me to do. But when I was not at home, water took a back burner, which it really should not have, but that is exactly what happened. Now, I know people talk about using electrolytes to stay hydrated. I personally don't use it. The same pink Himalayan salt that I use in my foods and just the foods that I eat throughout the day, that helps to keep me hydrated. I don't tend to sweat a lot in terms of doing really strenuous exercises. The strength training and the resistance training and my walking and my cardio that I do, yes, I do sweat, but I don't do anything right now that is too extensive that will cause me to need to add more electrolytes. As a matter of fact, I actually check my water percentage on my smart scale and my numbers, my percentage is really good, so I don't really have a need to add electrolytes. Now, if it is that you do different tests and you do different blood work and you realize, you know what, you need to get some more electrolytes into your system, then you go ahead and do that. But for the most part, adding electrolytes to my water is not something that I need to do. I may do it here and there, but it's really not something that is part of my routine. Another thing that I started focusing on with this reset is my nutrition, because you all know when it comes to weight loss, 80% of the results that you will get with your health and your fitness is based on what you are consuming, what you are eating, what you are drinking. You all know I follow the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the time I eat whole unprocessed food, and then 20% of the time I have my treat meals and I eat the things that I enjoy. And to be honest, when I was not at home, I also followed the 80-20 rule, but it was the opposite. 80% of the time I ate ultra processed foods and junk foods, and 20% of the time I had some fruits, I had some vegetables, so I was totally out of balance. But I was spending time with family and I really wasn't paying close attention to what I was consuming. In retrospect, I should have been a little more intentional, so that is just my advice when it comes to not being at home. If you're going on vacation, if you're just not in your normal environment, try your best to enjoy yourself, spend time with your friends, spend time with your family, but at least try to be a little more intentional with what you are consuming and the habits that you keep up with. So now that I'm back home, I'm focusing on making sure that I eat enough protein. I try my best to have about 1 gram of protein per pound of my ideal body weight, which is around 120 grams of protein. Now, I usually get around 100 grams of protein a day, which is not bad, but if it is that I want to see more progression when it comes to my strength training and resistance training and see a little more results in my physique, then I know I need to increase my protein. But you don't have to overdo it. I know everybody talks so much about high protein meals, high protein foods, everything is high protein, and yes, there are a lot of benefits to eating high protein. It helps to keep you fuller for longer. It helps to keep you satiated. Obviously, you want to focus on high fiber meals as well. Get in your healthy fats. Make sure you have your vitamins, your minerals. Now, here's the thing, right? All of these tips I'm gonna give you will help you to see results, especially if it is that you stay disciplined and you stay consistent with it. But the reality is you still would not see the results that you want. You would not lose weight. You will not lose the body fat that you want if it is that you're not in a calorie deficit. And I know some persons, they don't like talking about being in a calorie deficit. Some persons, they feel as though, oh, I'll be starving if I'm in a calorie deficit, and that is not true. You just need to make sure that you're consuming a little less than your body burns and move a little more throughout the day. You do not need to have a calorie deficit that is so big that you are starving yourself. Your energy levels are tanked where you cannot even function properly. If you're doing that, you're not doing your fitness and your weight loss journey properly. And with my nutrition, I'm also focusing on my gut health. So whether that's eating kimchi or sauerkraut or Greek yogurt or kombucha, whatever it is, make sure that you consume things that are actually helpful for your gut microbiome, because that also helps out a lot when it comes to your fitness, well, your weight loss journey, I should say. When it came to strength training and resistance training, that went totally out of the window when I was not at home. So it's something that I have to start implementing into my weekly routine. Now, if it is that you do your strength and resistance training maybe 3 to 4 times a week, when it is you come back from, I guess, vacation, or even if you've just been off track of your routine, don't feel as though you need to go back to 4 days a week. Maybe just consider doing 1 day of a full body workout, and you do that maybe once a week, twice a week, and then the following week you can add a particular day, and then after a while you can maybe do different splits where you do upper body on a Monday, and then Tuesday you do lower body. You just do it based on how you feel and your schedule, but don't feel as though you need to rush back in. Of course, you also want to make sure that you're sticking to a really good program that helps you to do progressive overload. So whether it's increasing your reps, your sets, the weights that you're using, make sure that you're doing that. As a matter of fact, one of the first things that I did when I reached home was to go to a gym. Now, I didn't join a gym, but I went to a particular gym to see if I may take membership there. You all know that when I lost 40 pounds last year, I did all of it naturally, just by dialing with my nutrition, my healthy habits. I did all of my workouts at home, and I have been saying this on my channel for a while, but I know that I am limiting myself because there are certain equipment and machines that I need to use in order to get the physique that I want, as I'm losing body fat and wanting to gain muscle and have my quads and my hamstrings, my glutes, my biceps, my triceps. I want everything to look a particular way, and I know that I'm limiting myself by just doing my home workouts. So yeah, I might be joining a gym quite soon. But again, I just want to emphasize, especially if you're on a beginner stage, you can try and do your workouts at home. You can get some resistance bands, get some dumbbells, get some kettlebells, and you can do that for a while. But it is important to make sure that you are progressively overloading. Don't stick to the same routine, the same weights, the same reps, the same sets. You will not see any results with that. Now, one of the interesting things that happened when I was not at home was when it came to my walking. You all know I try my best to walk around 10,000 steps a day. I always tell you all, you do not need to walk exactly 10,000 steps. You can get a lot of the health benefits, the weight loss benefits, making sure that you're losing your belly fat, well, I should say fat in general, by just walking roughly around 8,000 steps a day. If it is that you live a very sedentary lifestyle, you sit down a lot at your desk, then you may end up only walking maybe 4,000-5,000 steps a day. So don't feel as though you need to rush to get to 8,000. Just slowly increase a little bit over time. I know these numbers sound really high, but you can actually walk about 1,000 steps in 10 minutes. Now, I wouldn't advise that you just walk for 60 minutes straight. You can split it up, walk a little bit, especially after your meals, to help out with your digestion, help to balance out some of your blood sugar levels. Walk 10-15 minutes after your meals, so you do a little bit in the morning, a little bit lunchtime, a little bit in the evening. When it is I had my goal of walking 10,000 steps a day, there were times where I'd hardly walk in the morning and lunchtime, and when it came to the evening, I'm like rushing to get these steps in. I don't know if any of you will identify with that, but I will say try to front load your steps a little bit. It doesn't mean that you have to walk most of it in the morning, but what I will say is make sure that you're getting a good amount in the morning, so you're not rushing to get it in the evening. Now lately I've been seeing this trend of the Japanese walking technique, the interval walking technique. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe I'll do a video on it, but I actually tried it for the last couple of days and I really like it, because especially for me, where yes, I'm walking 10,000 steps a day, that has become my norm. I think this technique of walking helps out where your body might get accustomed to a certain, I guess, level of intensity, but basically it's where you walk with a really brisk pace for 3 minutes, and then you slow down for 3 minutes, you walk at a comfortable pace, and then you just keep repeating that, like I think about 5 cycles until you do it for about 30 minutes. Some persons are saying that the research shows that it's more effective than just walking 10,000 steps a day, and I actually think that might be true. I have to look into it, because you all know you'll have to be careful with all these trends that are coming out to see what is really true, what isn't true. But just from doing it, I actually end up walking a little more, because if you really think about it, if I am walking at a faster pace, and it's not like you're speed walking, well, I don't know if to maybe call it speed walking or brisk walking, but you can maybe have a little bit of a conversation with someone, but you shouldn't be able to sing. So you do that for 3 minutes, you slow down at a comfortable pace for another 3 minutes, and again you keep repeating that. I end up walking actually a little more throughout the day, because obviously the more steps you make in the same period of time, it will equal to more steps throughout the day, if that makes sense. Basically, I am walking a little more throughout the day just by implementing that 30 minutes of the Japanese walking technique, and I liked it so much, because for me, I see it as a little bit of like increasing in my intensity as I'm walking. So it's like progressively overloading with my walking. Most of the times when I walk at home. I don't do much walking outside, so I don't have that, I guess, terrain or incline in different areas where I walk. I'm not using a Stairmaster, I'm not using the incline on a treadmill. So for me, it has been actually really interesting, and I will say in the last couple of days I've been getting close to like 12,000, 13,000, sometimes 14,000 steps. And the thing with walking, it is such a low barrier to entry. If it is that you don't have any issues with your mobility, everybody can do it. Obviously you get a lot of benefits from walking outside, but in nature, but it is so good to help you. It definitely burns a lot more of your fat for fuel, so you get to see really great results that way. And it's something that's simple. You don't need to go to the gym, you just get some really great shoes so that you know your feet are comfortable, you don't get aches and pains. And if you're a beginner with your health and your fitness journey and getting into exercise, it's low impact on your bone, it's low impact on your joint. It's something that you can do and just build up over time. Don't feel as though you need to rush to do the 8-10,000 steps a day, but I'm actually really enjoying it. Again, I might experiment with it a little more and maybe do a separate video on it. Let me know if that's something that you want to see. And one of the other habits that I did not keep up with was making sure that I got good quality sleep, my 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. That totally went out of the window when I was not at home. I was sleeping a lot later, waking up a lot later, and I always tell you all, make sure you're getting your 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. It is essential for your body to properly rest, properly recover, get properly regenerated, rejuvenated. You'll know I mentioned in my videos about not having good quality sleep. It affects your cortisol levels. You wake up in the morning, you feel groggy, you feel tired, you actually crave a lot more of the ultra processed foods, sugary foods, salty foods, and maybe that's why I was eating so much. It was kind of out of hand. I actually filmed a video where I talked about my gluttony and overcoming gluttony, and in all honesty, when I was not at home, I did experience, or I went through some gluttonous behavior. By the time this video comes out, I would have uploaded that one, so I would link it, whichever side it will be, I will link that video so you all can have a look. Because here's the thing, right? When it comes to your health and your fitness and your weight loss journey, gluttony is something that a lot of people, they don't like to talk about. I know I talked about nutrition earlier in the video, but I just wanted to say this is something that affects a lot of people, and it was only through God helping me to subdue my unhealthy cravings, my unhealthy appetite, to be able to have proper self-control with a healthy routine and healthy habits, is where I was able to overcome it. And there are times, again, like when I was at home recently, where I fell short, but what I would say is it's a process of daily walking it out with God, daily dying to your flesh, daily being disciplined, daily being consistent, and having self-control. So with that being said, I really hope that this video will help you to get back on track with everything that you need to do. Oh, I actually bought a planner. One of the things I forgot to mention, when it is I came back home, I said, all right, Rianne, as you're getting it together and you're staying on track with everything that you need to do, it's a good time to get a planner. We only have a couple of months for the rest of the year, and to be honest, there are a lot of things that you can accomplish for the next 3 to 4 months that are left for the rest of the year, because we're the beginning of September. But when it comes to your fitness and weight loss journey, realistically, I would say 3 months, because when it comes to the end of the year and the holidays, it's like, how much are you really going to focus on your weight loss and your fitness? I'm not saying that you can't continue with your healthy habits, but realistically, give yourself 3 months to be able to be consistent and be focused when it comes to weight loss for the rest of the year. Don't say 4 whole months. Realistically, 3 months is your goal. But anyways, I bought a planner, and this is it here. Is it in focus? Let me see if I can get it in focus. Y'all, this is so gorgeous. Oh my goodness, and look, it matches my nails. But I really love this planner. Let me see if I can really quickly show y'all. It has some stickers in the front here. Can you see? And I really love the designs that are in it. Hold on, let me see if I can show y'all. I love that there is a part in the front where it talks about your priorities, your tasks, and your weekly goals. Can you see it right there? This part right here. Yo, I don't even know if it's in focus, but I really love this planner, and I realize this is something that I really want to be consistent with and stay disciplined with. I have bought planners before and I haven't really been as consistent, but there are things that I want to achieve for the rest of this year and into 2026, and I think this is going to really help me a lot with planning, journaling, scripting, everything when it comes to just my life as a whole, not just with health and fitness, but in all aspects of my life. So get a planner, get a journal, do whatever you have to do to make sure that you're staying on track with whatever task, whatever goals that you have put in place. Like I mentioned, we still have a little more time towards the end of the year to get where you need to be. Well, it depends, right? Because depending on your goals, if it is that you had to lose like 50, 60 pounds, it might be a little challenging to lose all of that weight before the end of the year for 3 months. I'm not saying it's impossible, but more than likely that's not something that is sustainable. But what I will say is, even if it is that you can't actually reach your goals, you can actually make a little dent and make the effort to actually see some type of results, so that when it is you're stepping into 2026, you will be a better version and a healthier version of yourself. And that is what I want for all of y'all. If it is that you like these tips, if you want to make sure that you keep up with my health and my fitness journey, make sure that you like this video, make sure that you subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.